Yeah, for my cup of tea.
Ooh. Alrighty. Let's log in. Where's my payslip? Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, then hi, my name is Monisha. I am currently doing my residency in the specialty psychiatry here in London. Today's video is probably the most asked video on all my socials. Everybody wants to know how much does someone earn as a doctor here in the UK, especially someone who's doing residency training and not straight out of their medical school. So I've got my cup of tea here. So I'm ready to spill the tea. Got my blazer on, so I'm here to talk business. Got my laptop here with me, so I'm going to be going through my payslip bit by bit for you guys. Also, there's timestamps right down in the description box, so feel free to forward, rewind, pause. You can skip the parts of the video you don't want to watch. Alright, so right off the bat, why am I filming this video? So in the words of 𝐈𝐦𝐻𝐿𝐴, seeing real people share real numbers gives me more knowledge about my own financial situation. So I'm going to give a few disclaimers right at the beginning. This is in no way a flex. Also, my salary is not that great that it would count as a flex anyway. The reason I'm sharing these numbers is because, number one, transparency. I would have really appreciated when I was in med school or pre-med school if there was information as to how much do doctors actually earn they graduate out of medical school. There weren't any videos like this, and there are only very few videos even when you're doing your core training or residency in the UK. I haven't seen very many core trainees or basically residents or people in the specialty training sharing their pay slips. I would have really appreciated if someone would have done that when I had just entered the UK, or if someone would have, sat down and explained how a pay slip works. So these are a few reasons why I wanted to film this video, and also because of knowledge. I would have really maybe valued if somebody had shared their financial situation as to what it looks like when you become a doctor, because there's so much of hoo-ha around, being a doctor, and people think that we earn bucket loads of money, but that's not really the case. Also, finally, if somebody who is in their schooling days and is contemplating whether they want to become a doctor or not, I hope this video is useful for you, because I think financial education is very important. That's something that is not really taught when you're back in school, especially where I come from. Coming from Asian background, Asian culture, things like your salary and your numbers and your taxes and your financial situation is not really openly talked about. Even so many of my friends, I don't think this conversation is really had between us, where real numbers are talked out in open. And I would really appreciate that if that would be the case, because it gives you an idea whether you want to go down that route or not. Well, people might say that money isn't everything. I agree with that money isn't everything, but having said that, money is also very important because it shows that you're valued in an organization if you're paid well enough. Also, lastly, there is so much misinformation out there in the media about how much healthcare workers earn, and there's this constant debate as to whether they deserve pay restoration and everything surrounding that. If you're in the UK, then you know what I'm talking about. So then maybe this will give you a better idea as to how much does a doctor in training actually earn. So I would say I'm a practicing doctor for the last 8 years now, and this is after 6 years of MBBS. I've been basically in the field of medicine more than 13 years now, and this is how much I earn currently. Okay, right off the bat, let's get my pay slip up. First thing that you see on the left corner is assignment number. That's my payroll number. Don't want to give that away. You can see my name, and you can see the location. I've blurred that out because privacy reasons and everything. So the next thing that comes is department. I am currently doing my core training, wherein you rotate every 6 months into a new team, into a new specialty, into a new site. So this is where I'm currently doing my rotation, which is a learning disability team. The next thing you can see is job title. If you're not from the UK and this is the first video you stumbled upon, then this is specialty registrar ST1 to 3, means that somebody who's doing the core training. So I'm currently in the 3rd year. I have my final few months remaining in terms of my residency here. So this is my job title, sorry. And the next thing is pay scale description. So you can see I'm a specialty registrar CT3, core training year 3. The next thing is salary or wage. So this is basically my basic pay. This is without any added on call. So £51,017 is what is my basic pay for my pay grade. So every pay grade has a basic pay, and on top of that you get additional amount for the on calls or out of hours that you do. I'm going to put up a list or a table over here for you guys to see what the basic pay is based on your job title. I have made an at-length video as to how much do doctors earn in the UK, and it talks about every pay scale and how much they earn. I will link it up above here for you guys to go and watch it. Yeah, you can have an idea as to what the pay scale is. The next thing is standard hours. So I'm expected to work 40 hours a week. There are weeks when it goes beyond 40 hours, especially if you're doing 12-hour shifts during nights or you're doing long days, but you get compensated with days off. So if I would have worked Monday to Thursday night shifts, which would be 12.5 hours per night shift, then I get compensated for the next 3 days off. It kind of gets balanced out, but it's never set 40 hours in a week unless you're doing Monday to Friday 9 to 5, which can be few weeks. Then there are weeks when you do more than 40 hours, but then you get the days off subsequently after that. Then I've blurred out the next whole column. It's got tax office name, tax office and tax code, my national insurance number. Obviously that's private, can't give that away. Let's come to the main part. So here on the left hand side, you can see what looks like the pay or allowances that come in to the account. So the first thing is basic pay. And what does basic pay mean is that it's your basic hourly rate as a CT3. I'm a CT3, so I'm going to be talking my payslip and what my payslip entails. All right, so everybody's payslip is going to look different. This is what a CT3's payslip looks like. The first thing is my basic hourly rate as a CT3 in the UK. So regardless of which part of London or UK you're in, this is your hourly rate as a CT3 co-trainee. This includes standard pay depending on your pay grade, like I've explained, and this rate for me is 24.4602. I don't know where this 0.4602, how this number has come up. So that's the CT3's hourly rate. Well, the more senior you get, the higher your basic pay is, and this is what you get working Monday to Friday 9 to 5. The first box that you see is 173.81 is basically the hours that I have worked in the month. So 173.81 hours, if you divide it by 4 for 4 weeks, roughly 43 hours a week. So if you multiply, then that is 4,521. So that's basically my monthly basic pay. All right, so the next section in the payslip is London zone. So London zone is basically London allowance. For people who are doing their training in London or working in London, you get something called London allowance, which adds up to around £180. That's something that you get every month for working in London. I don't think it's very much, but I'll take what I get. So the next section is additional rostered hours. So let me clarify this. When I say additional rostered hours, these are not the hours I've done extra. These are hours which are basically part of my contract but are extra. Like, these are not locum hours. These are the hours that you're expected to do when you're, doing your co-training, and these are part of your contract. So I have done 21 hours extra in the month of February, for which my hourly rate is 24.46, and if you multiply those two, that is £531. So that's extra that I have done out of my Monday to Friday 9 to 5. And these additional extra hours are basically things like your evening on calls, where you work from 5 to 9:30 p.m, stuff like that. So those are your extra additional rotard hours that you do. The next thing is something that you very frequently don't see in everyone's payslip, called 𝐕𝐻𝐸 Pay Psych Core. So yes, I get paid extra for doing psychiatry training, and there are a few other specialties where you get paid extra every month for doing those trainings. A few of the specialties are oral and maxillofacial surgery, histopathology, research academia, and emergency medicine, and of course psychiatry as well. So there's something called 𝐕𝐻𝐸 Pay, which is added money on top of everything every month. So the next section that you can see is night duty. So what that means is that basically the night shifts which you do from 9 p.m. to 9:30 a.m, whether it's weekdays or weekends, you get paid extra at a premium rate. On my payslip says 37% extra to your normal basic pay. So this month I worked around 35 hours, 35.85 hours. I don't know how they've calculated 85, which is roughly around 3 night shifts is what I would say I've done in the month of February. And this was again paid at the rate of 24.4602 hourly rate. Okay, so if you calculate 35 into 24, roughly it doesn't come up to 324 because you're already getting paid your basic pay, which is in the first section. This is only 37% extra. So whatever is the extra of it, basically that adds up to £324. That's what you get paid. The next thing, like you can see, it says is weekend less than 1 in 6 to 1 in 7. And what that means is that every specialty has a frequency on the number of times you work on a weekend. In psychiatry, you work once in every 6 to once in every 7 weekends, which is roughly once every 2 months is when your weekend goes, which is really not bad. You don't see that less frequent isn't weekend on calls in any other specialty other than psychiatry, which is very special to psychiatry as well, because I would love to have my weekends to myself. So you work 1 in every 6 or 1 in every 7 weekends, which is lovely. And here's a chart based on the frequency of your weekends, what your weekend rate would be. So every specialty is different. I know there are some specialties which is 1 in every 2 or 1 in every other weekend, and obviously the rates would be higher. Because we work 1 in every 6 to 1 in every 7, our rates are different. So just have a look on this chart over here, and like I said, your rate gets calculated based on your frequency. For the 1 in every 6 to 1 in every 7 weekends, I got paid £170. Mind you, there is one section which is missing from my pay slip, which is locum. So I do pick up few locum shifts now and then, and I've been only doing that for the last few months. I did that at the beginning of my training, I think my second rotation. After that, I did not do any locums at all, and the reason was that I wanted that extra time to be able to study for my exams. But now that my exams are done, I've got free time. You know, the studying time has freed up, so I don't mind doing extra shifts because extra money is always great. That is not shown on my payslip because mine's like a national payslip given I'm in training and everything. So I did do 3 on-call shifts in February, which were locum shifts. There is a locum rate card which was released by BMA a few months back. I'm going to put a picture of it over here. My trust doesn't follow this. The trust I'm working in pays much lesser than what BMA has recommended. But I don't know if any other trust follows the BMA rates, because if it is, it's ridiculously good, and that's actually what we deserve to get paid. But I don't know if any other trust really follows this rate card or not, but this is what is recommended by BMA. Let me know if you are in one of the trusts where they follow the BMA rate card. I have a bit of an advice for people who want to do locums. If you want to do locums, then London is not the best place to be doing locums, given the supply and demand of doctors is, you know, lovely, because there's obviously like bigger population of doctors in London. But if you move out of London and you go to smaller towns, there is scarcity of doctors, so obviously the rates are going to go higher for them to fill up a shift. That's a tip for you guys in case you're looking into doing locums and everything. I can actually be making a separate video altogether about locum rates, taxes and everything. Let me know if you want to have a video on just locum shifts. And coming back to the point, if you add up all these numbers on the left hand side, which is basically what I should be getting paid every month, so my total earnings for the month, not adding the locum shift, is £5,767.35. Unfortunately, this is not the number that comes into my account every month, because obviously there's taxes and pension and everything that comes into the picture. So we're going to move on to the part where amount that goes away from this number. So on the right hand side, as you can see, it says PAYE. So this is income tax, and this month I paid £1,099.66. As I earn more than £50,000 a year, I fall in the tax bracket of 40% tax. And something else I wanted to tell you is that if you have just started working in the NHS, whether you're new to the country or you're just straight out of med school here and you're a FY1, you don't pay tax for the first £12,570 that you earn. As you cross this threshold, you start paying tax and your salary would come down after the first few months. So that's just something for you to be aware of. The next thing that you see here is NIA, which is National Insurance. So this is basically for state contributions and for state benefits and for state pension scheme and everything. And for that, it's £408.49. The next thing is NHS pension. I have opted in. My NHS pension per month is 11.6%. So that's £514.06 every month is what goes from my salary into my pension. I just wanted to say that a lot of times when, you know, people come into the country, they opt out of pension, which is your decision and everything. But if you see yourself living long term here in the country, I would advise you not to opt out of NHS pension scheme, because honestly, it's a really good pension scheme. Also, mind you, the amount is not taxable. I mean, it's just an advice, it's up to you, but I have opted in for pensions. So the total payment that should have come into my account is $5,767. Let's get to the bottom, which is the fun part, or not so fun part maybe. So as you can see here, total payments that happened for the month of February is £5,767.35. Total deductions that took place for that month was £2,022.21. So my net pay for the month of February was £3,745.14. Again, mind you, this doesn't include my locum amount for the month. Anyway, so this is the money that came into my account. Just wanted to let you guys know that my salary will remain more or less the same for the next few years until I become a consultant. Let's have a look at what the salary of consultant looks like. I'm going to put a table over here. If you're somebody who's brand new, fresh out of the oven after your hire training, then this is how much you get paid as a consultant. And you can see as your years progress, you get paid higher as a consultant. You become a consultant after having gone through for 6 years to medical school, 2 years of foundation training, 3 years of core training, and 3 years of higher specialty training. That's almost 14 years. And this is if you have not taken any breaks, have cleared all the exams at the right time, and haven't, you know, taken gaps. 14 years is this much how you get paid as a starting salary as a consultant. So I'm going to leave it up to you to decide if you think doctors deserve better pay for the, you know, years that have gone into education, the money that is there in depth, having gone through med school and training, and, you know, paying money every month for our membership fees and conferences. So yeah, let me know. I'm not going to make a decision for you guys. Drop it down in the comment section below what you think about it. Also on that note, I want to say that there's another video which is on how much I spend every month. So basically my monthly expenses exposed living here in London. If you haven't checked out that video, I would definitely recommend you check that out. I'm going to link it up here. Yeah, so that's the end of today's video. I hope you're looking after yourself and your loved ones, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Mwah.